Hey, what's going on, y'all? All right, so we're back. Take two. Apparently, y'all could not hear me in the first one, so we had some mic malfunctions, but I really wanted to re-record this on the spot because it's just so much valuable information and some things that you can implement into your life today to help making sure that you're optimizing every breath that you're taking, which we take about 20,000 breaths a day. All right, so once again, won't take a lot of your time, 5 or 10 minutes. Let me know if you are listening live. Let me know that you can hear me because last time I did not pay attention. So keep me posted if you cannot. All right. So today, two things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what is happening in your body at every breath. And then we're also going to talk about my top 2 breathing exercises that help start optimizing those breaths. All right. So let's talk about the diaphragm. The diaphragm is a primary breathing muscle. Even though a lot of us start to use more of our secondary breathing muscles, which are like our neck muscles. But we have to remember and have to actually start training, which we'll start doing today with those top 2 exercises, our diaphragm so that it can hold up its end of the bargain and be that primary muscle for breathing. Now, what happens to that diaphragm with every breath? When you taking an inhale, so you're breathing in, that diaphragm contracts and it drops down. It drops down, allowing more space for the lungs to fill up with air. The diaphragm is what separates our thoracic, so our T-spine, from our abdomen. So in between, that goal is to drop down to allow more space and more opening for the lungs to fill up with air. When that diaphragm drops down on the inhalation, once we breathe out, our diaphragm relaxes and comes back up to that original position, making sure that our lungs are coming back up with it. So then we have less space in our abdomen wall. Now, our diaphragm, if you did not know, is also the top of our core. It's the top of our ab wall, as we just learned, right? But there's other things that are happening in the abdominal wall with each breath as well. We take a deep breath in, that diaphragm contracts, but our pelvic floor, which is also the bottom of our core, drops down as well. So we deep breath in, this drops down. Exhale up, it comes back up. What else happens is the abdominal wall, so on the outside, also expands or comes out laterally. So when we take a deep breath in, not only is our diaphragm and pelvic floor dropping down, but our abdominal wall is opening up, allowing more expansion, more space for air. And also our low back is also coming back a bit too. With that, we have something happening in our front, and our sides, and in our back. And that's why it's so important with this 360-degree breath. That is a fundamental breathing pattern that everyone should have in order to get the most out of your breath. And also in order for you to know what type of breathing strategy you need to use for what task you're doing. Because how you're breathing when you're lifting up heavy shit is not the same way you're going to be breathing while you're trying to relax and calm down your nervous system, all right? It's also not going to be the same thing you do while you're doing resistance training, while you're doing eccentric loading. So there's different type of breathing strategies depending on what you're trying to achieve. But what all comes down to is the fact that you need to know how to do a 360-degree breath. These top 2 movements, so these next 2 movements I'm going to show you, are the 2 places that I would have you start if you want to start knowing what it feels like to create that breathing pattern. First things first, we got to know what it feels like and be aware of what our diaphragm feels like when we're taking a deep breath in and when we're taking a breath out. So the best way to do that, I want you to grab, I'm using a bench, but you can put your feet up on your chair. People have like yoga balls, not yoga balls, I cannot think of the name. The balls, and you can just put your feet up on something. So I'm gonna have you lay on your back. Your heels are on the bench. One hand on your diaphragm, the other hand on your chest. Now, with your heels on that bench or on your chair, I don't want you to push all the way down like 100% of your might. What I want you to do is about 30%. Enough to push that you're like, okay, I feel something happening in my hamstrings or in just the back of my legs in general. So one hand in the diaphragm, other hand in the chest. You're going to take a breath in through your nose and blow it out. You can use your nose or your mouth to blow it out. What I want you to feel in doing this motion is I want you to literally feel your stomach, your ab wall pushing against this hand that's on your stomach because it's rising. And I want you to feel more movement happening in this abdomen wall as opposed to your chest. So taking that deep breath in, you should feel your ab wall come up. So literally push it up against this hand, and you should feel it drop down as you take a deep breath out. What I want you to focus on is trying to do a count to 4 in each one of those directions. So taking a deep breath in, try to count to 4, and then exhale for a count of 4. What I've learned with working with a couple of my patients is that sometimes breathing in for more than a couple of seconds is actually pretty challenging because they feel like they don't have any more space for air to come. And that comes with training the diaphragm. All right. So that's one of the first movements that I would start you with. You'll feel that ab wall rise up and maybe even feel that back pushing into the floor a little bit as we engage the back part of our body. Second movement, I am using a yoga block, but you can use your hands. So you can take both of your fists, ball them up, and we can put it on our forehead. But what we're going to be doing, our forehead is going to be down here. Our body is going to be straight. We're still going to be doing the same count, breathing in through our nose. And our goal is to be feeling our back lift up. The same way that when we were on our back, we were feeling our abdomen wall lift up. We want to feel our back rise. Now, if you're doing this motion and you're like, I'm not really sure if my back is doing what I need it to do, then you could put something lightweight on your back to just bring awareness to that area. So I'm not talking about like a 5-10 pound weight. I'm talking about like maybe you have a 2 to 3 pound weight. I think 5 is a little bit too much. So something that just is touching your back so you know like, hey, I am actually lifting this and dropping it back down. When you're doing this, you'll feel your back rise, and you also should feel your abdomen pushing a little bit into the floor too. So we're going to be down in this position, taking a deep breath in, back rising, and blowing it out. Incorporating these two movements into your movement routine will definitely help you know what it feels like to expand here. You're going to get some lateral expansion as well as you're training yourself on what it feels like to breathe into your back. Okay, yes, someone responded, so I know for a fact that you guys can hear me this time. I hope you all learned so much about breathing and how important it is, and that the goal is to create that 360-degree breath. If you like what you saw today, I'm definitely about to throw this in. I'm super excited about this workshop that InstaPhysique and I are putting on. It's called Breathing and Bracing, and from there we're going to talk about more breathing strategies. We're going to talk about what it feels like. We're going to go through certain movements, and you're going to learn actually what it means to breathe and brace properly, depending on what task you're trying to do, whether that's resistance training that they do at their studio, or if it's more for relaxation or lifting heavy shit. There's so many things that we can do with our breath for everyday life. So check us out. That'll be on the bio. I will make sure that I will save this video this time, this one, because it's a great sound, and I'll post it and share it so you guys can save and watch for later. Share this with anyone you think that it can help them. I'm learning, especially with these last couple of years, the more masks we wore, that we have now turned into more mouth breathers than nose. So this is a great place to start. All right, y'all. Have a good rest of your day.